Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to break down 6 super useful phrases that'll make your everyday English sound way more natural and confident. So let's dive right in.
You know that feeling, right? When you're totally stressed out by a deadline? Or maybe you've seen a fun get-together just completely spiral out of control. Yeah, we've all been there. And believe it or not, these are the exact kinds of situations we're going to talk about today, using some really great English phrases.
So here's what's on the menu today. We'll look at 2 scenarios, one about a project and another about a party. Then we'll wrap it all up with a quick recap to make sure everything really sticks.
All right, let's jump into our first scenario. Picture this. You've got 2 colleagues, John and Mary. They're working on a huge project, and the deadline is coming up fast. You can just feel the pressure building, can't you? Mary is definitely starting to feel it.
So John sees that Mary is getting super frantic, and he says this great, calming phrase, "Easy does it." It's just a really gentle way to say, hey, slow down, we still have time. You know, panicking isn't going to help anyone.
So what does easy does it really mean? Well, it's your go-to phrase when you want to tell someone to be careful and slow down. It works for physical things like, moving a delicate piece of furniture, but it's just as perfect for mental tasks, like when a friend is rushing through their work and you're worried they'll make a mistake.
And John explains why he's saying this. He's basically pointing out that if you rush, you're probably going to make mistakes. And that's the last thing they need right now with that deadline just around the corner.
And that brings us to the word rushing. It's all about moving way too fast, right? You're basically trading quality for speed. Just imagine you're trying to finish your homework like 2 seconds before it's due. That's rushing. You're just trying to get it done, not get it done well.
I really like this comparison here. It lays it out so clearly. You've got rushing on one side, which leads to mistakes and stress. Not good. And on the other side, working carefully, which leads to quality and success. It seems simple, but it's a huge choice we make all the time, isn't it?
So what do you do when a project just feels huge, like totally overwhelming? Well, John has another great phrase for this. Let's take it one step at a time. And this is all about breaking down a giant task into smaller, bite-sized pieces that you can actually handle.
And this is exactly what it looks like. Instead of getting scared by the whole staircase, you just focus on that first step. Then, once you've done that, you move on to the next one. It's a game changer for making big projects feel way less scary.
Okay, let's switch things up. We're leaving the office and heading to a social event. So for our second scenario, we're at a house party. Our host is Jake, and, well, you can probably guess from the looks of it, things are about to get a little crazy. At first, everything's cool. The party is going fine. But then, more and more people showed up. And that's a really natural way to say people arrived, especially when it's a bit unexpected.
So, show up just means to arrive. It's a fantastic phrasal verb we use all the time for events. You might say something like, wow, a lot of people showed up for the meeting. Or on the flip side, my friend was supposed to be here, but he didn't show up.
So, with all these extra people showing up, the vibe of the party starts to change. And there's a perfect phrase for this. It got out of hand. As soon as you hear that, you know things went from fun to just totally out of control.
Yeah, when something gets out of hand, it's like a runaway train. It's completely beyond anyone's ability to stop it. It could be a small argument that turns into a big fight, or, just like here, a small party that blows up into something huge and unmanageable.
And wow, just look at this mess. The place is packed, it's a disaster, somebody even broke a window. And poor Jake, the host, he looks totally stressed out. This is pretty much the definition of a party that got out of hand.
So, what's the lesson here? A friend has some advice for Jake's next party. Maybe invite fewer people. And that word fewer is our last key term for today.
Fewer is super straightforward. It just means a smaller number of something. The key is you use it for things you can actually count, like people or chairs or cookies. So for Jake, inviting fewer people would have made the party way easier to handle.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, 2 different scenarios and 6 awesome phrases. Let's do a super quick review to lock it all in. So here's our toolkit. When things get stressful, you can say easy does it, try not to get caught rushing, and remember to take things one step at a time. And for those chaotic social situations, you can talk about who showed up, explain how it got out of hand, and maybe suggest having fewer guests next time. See, 6 really powerful phrases for your everyday conversations.
And that's a wrap. 6 super practical phrases for dealing with stress and describing chaos. So I'm curious, which one do you think you'll use first? Try to listen for them this week when you're talking to people or watching TV. Thanks so much for joining me today.